Good morning, students. Today we will continue with the chapter Reproduction in Animals. Next, we will move on to internal fertilization. In animals like birds, dogs, cows, goats, etc., fertilization takes place inside the female body. So, the fusion of the male and the female gamete is happening within the body of the organism. That's why it's called as internal fertilization. Characteristic of sexual reproduction. Male and female gamete fuse to form zygote, and the zygote further develops to form embryo, and finally a new individual is formed. And that new individual we see is not an exact copy of the parent because there is variation that is seen. Variation means a change or a difference. So in sexual reproduction, remember, there is variation of characters are seen in the offspring. When I say characters, it might be the hair color. The hair color might be different of any one of the parent and the offspring. The offspring is not the exact copy of the parent. Oviparous and viviparous animals. Oviparous, these are egg-laying animals. For example, lizards, frogs, snakes, etc. The eggs are hatched by the mother, either by the body warmth or by the sun's warmth naturally. This is called incubation. It's a very important question for 1 mark. You might be asked, what is incubation? It is nothing but the eggs hatch because of body warmth or because of the sun's warmth. This is nothing but incubation. In birds, we see that fertilization takes place within the organism and zygote is formed. Now the zygote travels down the oviduct. Now oviduct is a part of a female reproductive system. So as the zygote is traveling down the oviduct, so many protective layers are formed around it. Once a hard shell forms around the developing embryo, the bird finally lays the egg. Embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into young one. So the embryo is present within the egg. Once a protective layer develops and the shell develops, the bird it finally lays the egg. After the young one is completely developed, it breaks the shell and comes out. Only after the complete development we see the young one will break the shell and come out. This is in case of birds. Viviparous animals. All animals which give birth to the young ones are called viviparous animals. For example, rats, squirrels, etc. Metamorphosis. Newborn mammals like human being or newly hatched birds are similar in terms of shape and structure to their parents. However, in case of some animals like butterflies, silkworm, etc., the young ones are entirely different in terms of shape and structure. Usually when you look at a newborn baby, it is similar in structure and shape. But whereas in certain organisms, it could be mosquito, it could be frog, it could be butterfly, there are certain intermediate stages that are completely different from the parent. They don't have the same shape and structure as that of the parent. So, they go through the various stages of life cycle before developing into an adult. For example, mosquito, it lays eggs, it forms larva, pupa and adult. This larva and pupa, students remember, the shape and structure of the adult mosquito is entirely different from the larva and the pupa. Same with the frog. Frogs lay egg and it forms early tadpole, then the late tadpole, then finally the adult frog. The early tadpole and the late tadpole, they don't look exactly similar to the frog. There are differences in their structure and shape. You would observe that in the intermediate stages, the young ones looks very different from the adults. Tadpole looks very different from an adult frog. Similarly, pupa looks very different from adult mosquito. The transformation of a tadpole into an adult frog or a pupa into an adult mosquito through drastic or radical changes is called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is nothing but it's a transformation of an immature organism to a mature organism, or it's a transformation of a tadpole into an adult frog or a pupa into an adult mosquito through drastic. When I say drastic, it means suddenly. Through drastic or radical change is called metamorphosis. Reproduction in humans. Male reproductive system. You can refer to the diagram that is mentioned in the textbook also. It's the same diagram. This structure, this entire structure, oval structure that I have drawn over here is the urinary bladder. Now these two structures are the testes, and covering the testes are the scrotum. Okay, the testes are covered by a structure known as scrotum, and the testes, behind the testes there are coiled tube-like structures called as epididymis. Okay, this is a testis. It is covered by a scrotum and it has got a coiled tube-like structure called as epididymis. And this continues as vas deferens, or it's a conducting tube. Now, testis is located outside the abdominal cavity in thin pouches of skin called as scrotal sacs or scrotum. So, testis is present outside. Abdomen means stomach. So, it is present outside the abdominal cavity in a pouch or in a structure called as scrotal sacs. Now, what is the function of this testis? It produces sperms and testosterone. Now, the testosterone is responsible for the development of the male characteristics. Might be it is the formation of beard or the change in the voice. So, all this is controlled by testosterone. And also, sperms are being produced in the testis. So, this is a function of the testis. Now, the sperms that are produced are stored in the epididymis. In your textbook, it is not mentioned. This is just for your information. The sperms are stored in a structure called as epididymis. From here, it is carried on by vas deferentia or sperm duct. So, as the sperms move through the vas deferens, what happens? Fluids from male reproductive gland mix with the sperms and form a fluid called semen. Now, as a sperm is being conducted to the vas deferentia or the sperm duct, there are certain glands. See, this is a gland over here. So, they are releasing certain fluids which mix up with the sperm. And the sperm and the fluid together is known as the semen. The secretions from the reproductive gland, what is the function of it? It nourishes the sperm and increases their motility or the movement or ability to move. Urethra. The vas deferens open into the urethra, which is a narrow duct arising from the urinary bladder, a part of the excretory system. The semen from the vas deferens is poured into the urethra. Urethra passes through the center of the external male genitalia, that is penis. Now, if you look over here, this tube right in the center is called as a urethra. Now, this urethra is a part of the excretory system and it is also a part of the male reproductive system. Now, this particular urethra, it receives the sperms from the vas deferentia or the sperm duct, and then it enters the urethra. And this urethra, surrounding this urethra is a muscular organ called as a penis, and it is surrounding this urethra. Penis, it helps to transfer semen into the vagina of a female. It is a common passage for both urine and semen to come out. So, penis is a structure which helps in the deposition of sperm into the vagina. Now for the sperm, so the sperm has to be deposited in the female reproductive tract. So this is done by the penis. And over here, what we see is here the urethra is a part of the excretory system also, and it is a part of the male reproductive system also. And this is surrounded by a muscular organ called as a penis. So this serves as a outlet for both semen and the urine to be passed out. We see that excretory system and male reproductive system are interlinked. So this serves as a common opening for the semen and the urine to be expelled out. This is about the male reproductive system. Hope you have understood, and it is important. I will just repeat it once again. There's a pair of testes. It is covered by scrotal sac. Okay, here the sperms are formed and the sperms are stored in epididymis, and this is carried over by the vas differentia or the sperm duct. Then they meet and join together to form the urethra. Urethra is also a part of the excretory system, and surrounding the urethra is a muscular organ called as a penis. The function of the penis is a deposition of the semen in the female reproductive tract or the vagina, and also it helps in the expulsion of the urine. This is how a sperm looks. It has got a head piece, and it has got a middle piece, and it has got a tail piece. So it has got three parts, and it has got the head piece. It has got the presence of nucleus, and in the middle piece there is presence of mitochondria, and the motility is because of the nourishment that is provided. And the main important how exactly this nourishment is utilized is by the mitochondria. Mitochondria is responsible for the generation of energy for the sperm to move, and the tail piece also helps in the movement.